When I have this many potatoes to peel, I like to use my apple peeler. It works really well for that. Whoops. There we go. That'll do. Let me get this. I still have a few. I just found out that those potatoes that I got are yellow potatoes. But that's okay because the price was right. And apparently yellow potatoes are better for canning. Oh my goodness. That doesn't want to work, does it? Let's try it this way. You gotta push it all the way on. There we go. So how's everybody doing today? Oh, I gotta put my chat on, don't I? Good morning. Oops. Good morning, good morning. Well, it's just turned noon here, but I had to get set up. I'm, if I get any really good peels, oh God. All right. I have a bucket going for compost here. Hey, hey, hey. I got about 51 pounds of potatoes to peel here, but I got to show you if you can see this. Oh, that's not going to work. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Okay, hang on. Don't want to lose my regular glasses. I use my apple peeler for peeling large quantities of potatoes. Hey, let me say hi. I don't get a participants list here, so let me say hi. Donna, Patricia, Caitlin, Dave. Hey, from Arizona, Dave. Kathy Ponder, Lori M, Yellowbird, Isabella Rudd. Can you freeze mashed potatoes? I have no idea. I've never. Well, no, wait a second. Because I've made, after turkey dinner, I would take the mashed potatoes. What? Shaletta, as I was leaving hospice house yesterday after holding my grandma's hand after she died, I wanted your voice so bad, and Freaky Friday was on. Helped me so much. I'm so sorry for your loss, sweetheart. I'm really, really sorry. Hey, Rocky. Now she's in peace, right? It's the rest of us that are left behind to struggle on. I know. I mean, I did it one day. I thought about it one day and I went, why not, right? It's just they can't be really soft, right? My bucket over here. Now, if I get any really good peelings, I just might save some for the air fryer and make myself up something. I got my dish pan going on. I got pork chops for 99 cents a pound, hot chicken wings for $1.49 a pound, and chicken breast for $1.98. Wow. That ain't in Canada, that's for sure. I just discovered as I'm looking at the big bag of potatoes, that I bought yellow potatoes. But apparently they're best for dry packing. Now listen, folks, I am not dry canning. Dry canning is what I used to do with my flour and my rice and stuff. Now I just put it in the freezer and then for a while to kill any bug eggs, and then I put them in half-gallon jars. So there we go. It works beautiful, doesn't it? I just, cut the little ends off. That's what I heard too. Hey, Marnie! Hi, Rocky. That's what I heard too, but we'll see. And I'm going to be canning these in quarts because to get them in, to get enough for us in pints, I'd have to cut them in small pieces. And I'm going to be using my old chopper because it has a 1.5 inch or 2 inch square blades, which I'm going to really like. These might even leave whole, these little ones. But, so what's everybody's plans today? You know what I'm doing? Oh, I had a really busy day yesterday. But today, I got 20 quart jars soaking in soapy water in the sink. And I'm peeling these first. Before I slice them. You got to get on there without poking through my hand. There we go. So, there's no way my arthritic hands could. Hey, Terry! Oh, I had a good night's sleep. Freaky Friday was good last night. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. My first cup of tea of the day, top of the morning, afternoon to you. All right, let's dig into these potatoes and see if I got a good deal. Oh. Not bad at all. Sorry for whipping you guys around like that. All right. Oi. Oh, well, there's a couple of wonky ones that I got to cut pieces off of, but they don't look yellow fleshed. Well, okay, wait. 21 quarts of new small potatoes, yellow ones. Washed them good and left the skin on. I don't like leaving the skin on. So I might with some, but now let me see if I can get this on here. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to get my potato peeler out because I may need it for some of these. So give me a second. I'll be right back. I arrogantly left my potato peeler in the drawer thinking, no, I'm not going to need it. Oi! Gracie, stop itching. So I guess I'm going to have to hand peel some. Hang on, get out of my way, you. Oh, but my knees are sore today. So yeah, this is my day today. I thought I would bring you along for a little bit of it. I have hated peeling potatoes my whole life. Dad, Bev, peel the potatoes. Why? Would you rather do the dishes after supper? Okay, I'll peel potatoes. Because if there's one thing I hated more than peeling potatoes, it was doing dishes. Oi. But these are all, even the ones I've done from my last of my other bag. These are all Quebec potatoes. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. These potatoes may be too big. Oh. I think I've done this. Hang on. I forgot. I have to put them on, like, if they're like this, you have to put them on flat way. Okay, let's see this. If I do this right again. These potatoes just may be too big. No, maybe not. There we go. Just like that. Ugh. You can see that. Oh, I know, Patricia. I started with my bedroom closet because it took me longer than it would have because I'm getting ready to move a lot of the stuff, the dressers, and I'm getting ready to move dressers, my big dresser out of my bedroom. I might chop it up for kindling because it's hardwood. And nobody seems to want it. And then I'm moving the white dressers into my bedroom. I'm organizing the fabric in bins, and then I will have that whole area and the craft bins. Oh, shit. The craft bins. Ugh. Oh, my hands are sore. The craft bins will be going in my bedroom as well. I only sleep there, right? Hi, Jules. I'm going to can all these potatoes. Now, I want to clear something up for the folks that just came in. I am not dry canning these potatoes. That would mean I would put the jars in the oven. I am dry packing these potatoes. I have been doing my research, my due diligence, and it may not be a USDA approved method, but I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of being lied to by a lot of government institutions. And I've done my research, and when you're properly, I know. Hey, Claire, Marilyn, how are you? When you properly pressure can, the internal temperature of the jar, that's a weird little dry piece on the inside. What is that? You want to make sure that you have no blemishes or anything on the potato after you've peeled it. But when you properly pressure can, the internal temperature of, hi, Rose, Independence, Missouri. Hey, Kimberly. When you properly pressure can, the internal temperature of the jar reaches 240 degrees, which kills botulism. Doesn't matter whether there's water in it or not, does there? And no, I will not be putting butter on them. I've seen people do that, but I'm not adding anything but a little bit of salt. And what I'll do is rather than put the salt in the jar, I'll probably toss the potatoes in a bit of salt, just so that they get, a little bit in on them. Not the greatest potatoes, but I mean, for the price I paid. Oh, you're at your granddaughter's volleyball game. Go, granddaughter's team. So I heard I was with Briar yesterday. He's the one who went with me to, and thank God he did, because I couldn't have lifted that 50-pound bag of potatoes. Well, I probably could have, but I would have hurt myself. From New Jersey, 68. I'm still learning. Good job. You know what? The day you stop learning is the day you die. Then there's no more to learn because you'll have all the answers then, right? I'm starting to think I should have bought a 20-pound bag for $5.99, but we'll see how we do here. I'm going to get a dish pan full, and then I'm going to chop them. Get on there. Then I'm going to chop them into another dish pan to rinse and frigadig. If the potatoes are soft, they will turn. It's not that it's soft, it's just this potato had too many lumps on it. And so it'll be probably, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get enough to get 14 jars going. Then I'll get more jars out of the pantry and put them in the sink. And I'll get these ones in the canners. And then I'll sit down and I'll start peeling more. No blemishes allowed. Okay. It's nice and cool today, but I'm already working up a sweat here. I put a t-shirt on because it's, you know, it's a nice day today. It's cool. It's a good day for canning. But am I missing chat? Can't decide how to can them. Maybe in broth for soup. But then you're limiting yourself, right? I don't, I will probably do some pints in smaller pieces. I didn't like my sludgy potatoes that I canned with onions last year. Did not, I use them when I have to, but I really am not fond of them. I won't be doing them again this year. Uh-oh. What did I do here? There we go. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. All right. Have it your way. I just didn't like them. So, to peel them, to can them. Well, again, USDA recommends that you do not can. Now, you're getting my opinion. Do your own research. USDA or whatever does not recommend you leave the skins on because you can have botulism trapped in the skins from the dirt. Here's my opinion, okay? You can take it or leave it. But my opinion is if they're well washed and scrubbed and no dirt allowed, again, when you're pressure canning, the internal temperature of the jar, if you do it properly, kills botulism. Okay? So I leave you guys to your own, you do your own research. But, you know, okay, these potatoes, most of these potatoes are going to be too big. Looks like I'm going to have to friggin' hand peel a lot of them. We'll see. I'll do the apple peeler with the smaller ones. With dry canning, you don't get sludgy potatoes, exactly. And canned potatoes in water, yes, I will drain the water and I will, I'll drain the water and then I will put some butter in a pan and some garlic and I'll give them a quick saute till they're heated through. And that's one way we like them. However, I say a lot because I get distracted. Hi, Deborah from Alaska. I leave you to make up your own mind. But I will probably do some canning like this. This is not going to do on the apple peeler. Some canning, some potatoes I will can in dices, like, you know, 1/2-inch pieces. And that'll be good for hash browns and stuff. But I still don't see any deer carrots out. If they're new potatoes, the skins, yes. But you got to scrub them really well, right? Oh. And I would not cut them any bigger than like 1.5 inches square. That might even be 2 inches, but... So, oh, my hands are not going to be happy with this. So yeah, I've got a plan set up for peeling, then dicing, then getting them in the canners, and then starting the process all over again. More jars in the sink to be washed, more potatoes peeled. Hey, Nancy. A lot of Missouri folks today. Also, if your potatoes have a lot of warty things or weird pieces on them, they don't do in the peeler well in the peeler either. This one looks to be just about the right size. I wouldn't go any bigger than a normal cooking apple size for the potatoes, because it just, son of a birch. That would be a sapling. Ever tried one of those wax spas for your hands? No. I wanna do a wax spa for my hands. I'll wash dishes by hand in nice hot soapy water. I got some more tomatoes from the garden. I'm thinking the way the weather's going, I may start picking all my large green tomatoes. From a Mennonite recipe on YouTube, they're tossed in clarified butter and salt and pepper. I get that. I've seen that. But I just don't want to. I will add butter as needed when I'm frying them or however I'm doing them. Good heavens. Ugh. Come on, away we go. Where she stops, nobody knows. Come on. And it helps if you do it really, really fast. You don't want to crank this thing too slow because it catches on lumpies and divots and things. So, but I'm also going to go out and probably harvest my onions this weekend. I would really like to know what this gray dry bits are on here. I hope this isn't going to be one of these bags where I end up with 40 pounds of potatoes because of spots. We will find out. Oh, back up a bit, back up. Get at it really quick. Yeah! Vroom! If I knew where my drill was, I might attach my drill to the end of this thing. I've done that with apples. So, and I'll soon be harvesting my leeks and dehydrating them. And as soon as deer carrots are out, I don't know where it is. Howie borrows my tools and then doesn't come back with them. So, sooner or later it'll show up, but it'll be when I don't need it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take the table out of my office, and Howie can use it out in the shop, or it can go downstairs. Because if I want to sit down at a table and do something, I'll either do it at the dining room table or I'll do it here at the island. I don't need any more surfaces. So I'm kind of making my office completely my studio, right? My office and my studio, not a craft room. Because I only use my bedroom for sleeping in, right? And I only use my bedroom for sleeping in, so it's not going to bother me that there's dressers and bins and stuff against one wall. And the dresser I have is one of those great big long credenza styles with the 3 folding mirrors, right? With the big mirror and the 2 folding side mirrors. And it's a waste of space. It really is a waste of space. I've tried to give it away. Nobody wants it, so I told Howie, well, take the mirror off and put it somewhere if he's not going to use it downstairs, but we don't need it. I'm going to take the mirror off it. And I told him, I said, you're going to give me the Sawzall and an axe. And I'm going to cut it up for kindling. Because it's dry hardwood. And it's a lot of wood. Right? So, waste not, want not. I even have another dresser. And I have to attack my linen cupboard soon, too. I just realized. Never mind. Making 50 pounds of pork sausage. Hey, Freaky Geek, good for you, Dave. Can I make it into a planter box? No. No, I can't. It's got drawers and cupboards. And so, no, it wouldn't work. Besides, where would I put it? Right now, I have no room for any more beds. Like somebody asked me, why do you put your tomatoes so close to your pool? Because I need to be able to walk in my driveway, right? It's space that I can use. Because nobody likes stands at the side of the pool, right? Well, the drawers are light plywood, and the bases of them, but the sides and the fronts are all hardwood. So good kindling, right? Good kindling. And I've ordered my firewood, 6 cord, and that's coming closer to the end of the month. My septic is getting pumped near the end of the month, because that's a job that gets done every 2 years. And I made a realization, you know, the smoke from the burning varnish parts. Honey, it's going in the wood stove. The smoke goes up the chimney. That's why we're not going to be, that's why it's going to be kindling, right? What did I say before that? I forgot what I was talking about. I could, I suppose. But where would I put it? Where would I put it? And I don't store root vegetables. I can them. We've got our big, I've paid $1,400 towards my side of beef and my butchered pig. And I'm going to ask them to, save me all the fat trimmings from both beef and pork, the beef bones for broth. Mind you, I still have bone broth, but it's almost soup season, right? We're getting into soup season. Almost feels like we never left soup season. So, but no, I don't have a lot of root vegetables this year. I'll be canning my carrots. Now, I've heard you can dry pack your carrots too, but we'll see. Because I do them in big chunks. So, oh my gosh, that potato doesn't want to come out of the bag. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Firewood, right. So, that's what I was going to talk about, my septic. Now, Kirkland toilet paper is no good for the septic, right? Somebody recommended a bidet, and I'm going to request one for Christmas, actually. But I just realized I wish we had a local farm garden auction. I just realized that when I found out how bad the toilet paper was, messing up my septic tank, I started putting the toilet paper, the clean toilet paper, so to speak, in the garbage. I only put the really messy stuff down. And I said to Howie, we can't buy Kirkland toilet paper anymore. Well, I've already started. I'm already throwing it in the garbage and not putting it in my septic. So why would I stop buying Kirkland toilet paper? Right? If I'm no longer putting most of it in the septic. So that's one thing there. And ow. Almost bit myself with the peeler. Oh, I hear the blue jays. They come, you hear them all year, but in late summer, they're the loudest. And I heard geese going over yesterday when I went out. You will want a heated bidet. Cold is no fun. Well, that depends on whether Howie can, because right next to my toilet is my washer and dryer. And if the hoses are long enough, he can hook them in to the hot water for the washing machine. Oh, I missed a spot there. So we'll see. We'll see. But, oh, the Charmin Red Label is the worst. The absolute worst. Charmin Red Label. They are really bad for your septic. Come on. There we go. Yeah. So, you know, it's either going in the landfill or it's going in the septic, and then it gets pumped out, and then, you know, they dispose of it. I'm sure they have like fields, waste fields, where they, you know, spread the stuff they get from the septics, right? So either way, it's going back to the land in one form or another. We are on city sewer lines. Our lines are old and shot. We have to use 1-ply. Oh my God. Why don't you get the city to come in and clear out your sewer line? Ugh. Now I'm hoping to find tomatoes soon. If not, I'm going to have to start bringing in, because it's getting cool at nights, I'm going to have to start bringing in. Oh, fuck. I'm going to have to start bringing in my green tomatoes and laying them in boxes. God, this potatoes. It looks good. And then there's all these gray spots on them. I'm not, you know what? I'm not even going down. I'm not even taking that one. There's one wasted potato. You pay the money, you got to take the chances. Ah! We were responsible from where we're off the city pipe. We spent thousands keeping it clear. Oh my God. That's one thing I like about living in the country. You are responsible, you know? And they've tried to, they've put out a new bylaw that you have to pump your septic every 2 years or face $5,000 in fines if your septic breaks down and pollutes the surrounding area. You can't legislate common sense. If you have a because here in Quebec, if I were to build a house today, I wouldn't be allowed to put a weeping bed in. And for anybody who knows anything about or doesn't know anything about septics, you have 2 tanks, okay? And the wastewater goes into the tank, or the waste goes into the tank, and as the water comes up, the waste, the heavy waste sinks to the bottom, and then the water pours off into another tank and then goes through a filtration system in the ground. If you overfill the leach beds, yeah, we call them weeping beds. If you overfill the sludge tank, it will go into the second tank and into your weeping bed, and then your whole weeping bed has to be dug up. Well, here in Quebec, if you build a house, you can no longer put in weeping beds unless you put in the $30,000 natural weeping system, which is like they build you a septic system where your filtration is actually a man-made swamp kind of thing, right? So it's cheaper. The only other option in Quebec is to put in tanks. And those tanks, especially if your laundry goes in there, those tanks get filled really quick. You're like pumping them every couple of months, right? And that's expensive. So why wouldn't I look after my septic system? Because I don't want just the tanks, right? So it's common sense to look after my septic system and get it pumped every 2 years. To get it pumped every 2 years, and you know, don't put a lot of paper down it, and that will keep my septic running beautifully for years, right? So why would they try and say, oh, you know, you got to get it pumped every 2 years or you're going to get fined? Well, guess what? You can't tell me how often, 1912, no septic system. They built homes on a hill, so the ground slopes and sewage drains out down the hill, comes out at the bottom in one spot. Oh my God. You sure that's not a gray water system? Like, are you sure the toilet does that? Because in our house in Colborne, it had a gray water system, which all my kitchen water and laundry water went into a gray water system that was a pipe that ran under the ground and flushed out into a field. And that's just kitchen dishwater and laundry water, right? And only my toilet and tub and bathroom sink went into the septic. It was an old septic too. But we still ended up repairing it because the pipes that went into that were clay and they eventually broke down. So we bought this place in 2007, and in the paperwork we found out it had been certified in 2004. So the first thing we did was pump the septic, right? So that's just the way you got to be responsible, right? If you want to keep it running, it's like my hot water heater. Howie has to clean out the bottom of the hot water heater because I have a brand new hot water heater in a box down there, and because ours is still working. Because Howie he drains the hot water heater. He takes the bottom element out, and then he cleans all the sludge. There's sludge that builds up and burns out the bottom element. It's not sludge. It's like calcium and rust and all the, the stuff that builds up on the inside of your tea kettle, right? Because we're on a well. So that stuff gets cleaned out, and Howie puts the element back in, and boom, it works well. But you got to maintain these things. But it's nice to have, because we bought the hot water heater that we have in the box down there pre-pandemic. I only paid $247 for it. Anybody want to Google what a 100-gallon hot water heater, or is it a 60-gallon? A 100-gallon hot water heater is worth today? Hey, Mindy! I'm outside listening while planting carrots and zucchini and cleaning up after bad storms. Where do you live, Mindy, that you're planting zucchini now? Because we're facing frost soon. Burned out many an element due to limestone. So when we lost one of the elements in that hot water heater. So Howie drained it to replace the element, and that's when he found like this much lime scale and silt and stuff in the bottom of the hot water heater. And so he cleaned it out, and it's been running ever since, and that was years ago. So he's going to I got to make him a honey-do list, which is, oh, for God's sakes, lose half the potato peeling that. So he's got to clean that hot water heater. He goes, oh, I'll just replace it. And I said, no, we may need that other hot water heater. Why replace it when it works perfectly well? It's a honey-do list. He has to, we couldn't replace the roof this year, but I'm going to get Arthur, Mel, and Briar and Bubba are coming for Thanksgiving. It'll be our first real family festive dinner together since before the pandemic, right? Like Briar wasn't sure he wanted to take time off work, and then he thought about, and I said, look, we haven't had a family, like, yeah, we've been together and had takeout and stuff, but here we haven't had a sit down family celebratory dinner in years. And what we do is we have a big dinner. I'm going to be cleaning my oven because I'm cooking one of my big chickens in it. 40 gallon, it was over $500. Yeah, see? Well, I don't know what mine is, but it stands about 5 feet tall. So, and I can't get my arms around it. So I'm thinking it's either 40 or 60, or I think it's 100. I'm not sure. But it's probably 60 now that I think about it, when I think of a 45 gallon barrel. But so I said to Briar, when was the last time we had, chicken and potatoes and gravy and all that stuff? No, I'm not making a turkey because the only turkey I have is a butterball. And Arthur is celiac. He's gluten intolerant. Well, he says he's celiac, but he's gluten intolerant, and it causes him a great deal of pain if he gets any amount. One crumb could send him into pain for weeks, right? So he had got to the point where he could barely use his hands and his arms, right? Because they weren't. So what he did was he went on a diet where he went on a cleanse. I guess he did the master cleanse, the lemon, cayenne, maple syrup one. And then he, once he was free of that and pain-free, then he started taking back the simplest of foods, like fresh vegetables and stuff, and meat. And as soon as he added wheat, he got a really massive flare-up. So butterball turkeys are injected with butter, they say. Yeah, you have to be careful with their foods. And I mean, my kids don't come here that often anymore, right? He did the master cleanse, I believe it was for 30 days. And so the butterball turkeys, they're injected with butter. They call it butter, but there's gluten stuff in it. So he can't eat a butterball turkey. I have one in the freezer. I think I'm going to can it or save it. I don't know. Because I think we're going down to Kingston to be with the kids for Christmas. But hey, Ginger Gargoyle. So I have, I'll probably can that turkey soon. And so I've got 2 10-pound chickens that I raised in the freezer. And it's his gluten intolerance is so bad that you can't, he stays with my brother-in-law during the week because he's still working in Peterborough while Mel stays in Kingston until his job ends. I believe it's the first week of December. But when he was staying with my brother-in-law, he made sure that, like, when he did the barbecue grill, he cleaned it to within an inch of its life. Because he said, and then I guess my nephew came to visit and they were barbecuing and he put hot dog buns on the grill. And Arthur was like, shit, now I can't eat anything that is cooked on that grill afterwards. And I said, well, what about cleaning the grill again? It's not that difficult. And he said, no, Mom, it's not just the grill. He said, crumbs go down in to the briquettes and heat makes them rise. he said it doesn't take more than a tiny little crumb. So it's ruined, right? So I bought myself some pumice stone because I don't use chemicals. And I'm going to be cleaning my oven before Thanksgiving. And I'm going to do it my way. And I'm going to thoroughly clean it. And my roasting pan, even though my roasting pan is clean, I have to make sure there's nothing burnt on at all because it could have gluten in it. We have to pump every 3 years in our city in Minnesota. Last part of Twin City area allowed on septic systems. Really? Well, we have to do they say we have to do ours every 2 years. We don't have to do it every 2 years. We just will pay the fine if it breaks down. He basically skips bread altogether. Like sometimes they'll get gluten-free breads for, if they get fresh tomatoes or something, want tomato sandwiches, right? But as far as my son is concerned, my entire kitchen is one big gluten bomb, right? So I'm going to be stuffing that chicken with, I'll be stuffing that chicken with sausage meat that I'm going to make myself. So I'm going to get, my thing came off. I'm going to be, let me wipe that down now. Stuffing, I'm going to get, stay stuck down. I'm going to be making sausage. Bake water in the oven. Be careful moving it out. Should steam things a bit. Well, I have a method I'm going to try. I saw somebody do it, and I had no idea about pumice stones. I had no idea. Snap. That's the pumice. There was a thing called Snap when I was a kid, and it came in a tub, and it was wet, loose ground pumice. And my sister used to wash her face with that, right? To get her pores clean. But I didn't know you could buy pumice stones. And I watched somebody clean their oven. And I thought, well, there you go. I can clean. I'll try the steam vinegar, yes. But I can clean my oven in a way that I'm going to have no chemicals in it. And it will be clean. I mean, I'll even wash down the elements, right? And then I'll be able to bake and I just won't use my oven those couple of days before Thanksgiving. And because I'll make some pies first before I clean the oven and put them in the freezer. And then when it comes to dessert for Arthur, I will make a pumpkin pudding, which is just a crustless pumpkin pie. You just make your pumpkin pie filling and you spray a pie dish. Or I may find myself, I can get gluten-free like graham crusts from IGA. And so I'll keep my eye out there because I'm just going to make pumpkin pies. You know what I mean? So if I can make them with a gluten-free kind of crust, graham crust, then I'm good to go, right? It is worth the effort when it's like this. When, it's just I get so that I want to try a bigger potato and it doesn't work. Born and raised in Ontario, Windsor. Couldn't pay me to move back there. Chemical City, we call Windsor. How can anyone afford to live in Ontario? The crime rate is basically Detroit now. I know. Hey, Angie. I know. I was born and raised in the industrial district of Toronto. It's now called Leslieville. And that's one of the reasons my dad moved us out in 1976. Because it was getting really bad. It was getting really bad. Right? So, I mean, when Briar and I went to this store on Grabert to look for the tomatoes, he said, yeah, this is a really dodgy part of town, Mom. And I went, I didn't think anything of it. And then I saw some people in the parking lot, and I'm thinking, geez, you know, they look like Russian crime bosses. They look like Russian crime. You know what I mean? So, God help me. There. Well, it looks like I'm going to lose, out of the 50 pounds, I'm going to lose about 3 pounds in peelings and cuttings. Hey, Linda, how are you? Would love to see your gluten-free recipes. I don't do gluten-free recipes, but I will for my son, right? And I'm just going to buy a box mix. You are a few hours away from me in a small town outside of Buffalo, New York. I don't live there now. I live in Quebec, just north of Ottawa, Ontario. So close, in fact, Howie works in Ottawa, right? I think I remember my dad helping your dad build his house when you guys moved to the boonies. Yes. Your dad did all the plumbing in our house. Your dad did all the plumbing in our house, Ange. And everybody, Mike, Gary, Bob, Billy, Jimmy, Leo, Marty, everybody came to lay the block, to pour, the floor was poured, and they did all the cinder block work. Marty built the fireplace. And because there was a lot of general contractors in my family back then. They, you know, I get really sad when I think of how when I was going to school, it was get an education. The only pie crust I make is King Arthur flour recipe. Fiddly but awesome results. Dee Dee nearly cried the first time she got to eat pie again. Well, I use that graham cracker crust, the gluten-free one I get, and it's not cheap. But I use it, and I should go shopping for it soon since Thanksgiving's less than a month away. It's almost exactly a month away. I used it for cheesecake, but I can use it for a pie, and then I don't have to make. Unless they have a pie crust mix too, I'll try that. But it just saves me the time and the effort, and then I can bake the pies in the oven, right? But I remember the first time I made a gluten-free pumpkin pie for Arthur. Hey, Doris! I don't like the city anymore. I call them zombie traps. I mean, when when Howard and I went down to bring our Briar home, they lived in Roncesvalles, which is Dundas West in King Street area. And I'm from Papin Queen area. So when we drove down to pick up Briar, my roommates have never had a pie of any kind. They're from India. I'm baking one along with a carrot cake. Ooh, yummy. Okay, I have enough potatoes in this dish pan that I'm going to start chopping for now and getting them into another bowl. So let's get rid of this. What was I saying? Oh, so we drove down, and when I was a kid, if you went along, you go to the Don Valley Parkway, and then you get on to the Gardner Expressway. And we're on the Gardner Expressway, and I remember, because it runs right along the waterfront of Lake Ontario, and the industrial district. And I remember Redpath Sugar and Tip Top Tailors and all these different companies and industrial factories and stuff and processing plants along the lake shore. And if you look to the right, it was all like small 3-story buildings, warehouses, and then a little bit farther back was all homes and stuff. And Howie and I were driving down the Don Valley Parkway, and I'm doing this. Skyscrapers, walls of glass. And it was like culture shock because I hadn't been down that way in a long time. And I said to Howie, dry packed, not dry can. Yes. And I looked and I said to Howie, I said, this is not the lake shore of Toronto I remember. Hey, Joe Mama. And he goes, yeah. And I said, yeah, these glass buildings weren't here. Right. And he goes, hi, Quacker. And he goes, yeah. He said, it's actually kind of creepy. It feels like you're hemmed in. They're looming, right? And I go, you know what I call them? Those skyscrapers? And he goes, what? Zombie traps. I got to get another dishpan of water and start chopping my potatoes. I'll be right. I hate getting up because these chairs are excellent for sitting in because I'll show them to you. They're made with 2x6s and stuff. And everyone said, why do you build such heavy furniture, to my dad? And he said, because my kids have no knees. That is a chair my father built. And it's heavy. Can you see that? It's heavy. But, you know, it holds me comfortably. I don't ever have to worry about it breaking under me. But it's hard to move. Now, I'll be right back. I don't need a dishpan. I'll just use a stock pot. I'll be right back, folks. Might as well peel another potato while that's filling. I don't want to sit down, so. But this first batch, I'm definitely doing large pieces of potato. Furniture meant to last generations. Yep, I got my dad's table and the 3 chairs he built. You want to go BB's, Grace? All right, I'm going to go let Gracie out and get my stock pot of water over here. I can start chopping. And then I got to go because I got to wash jars and get them ready. Oh my goodness. You know what's so awesome about my dog? Is we have an agreement. Her collar, is so loose. Like she has a breakaway collar if she ever gets stuck. But her collar is so loose that I just hang it on the doorknob. If I'm outside, she can run free with me. If I'm outside. But if I'm not outside, she has to be on the lead. Hey, Janet. Hey, Janet. Her collar is so loose that I just slip it off her head and hang it on the door. She agrees that when I put the collar on, she doesn't go any farther than her leash. And when she comes in, I just grab the collar and she goes like this and pulls her head right out of it. That dog can get out of her collar anytime she wants. Let's start with these smaller ones. That dog can get out of her collar anytime she wants. She does it for me. She stays in it for me. Still miss some spots. But now this is the size I'm going to be canning in quarts. So yeah, my dad built all of our furniture. He built it all. He built the beds in that house, and they're like cannonball beds. You know what a cannonball bed's? The posts are so big, they're like 5-pound cannonballs. Oh, with the chicken, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a loin of pork to make my own sausage. Oh, God, it's a good thing I cut this because look. I'm going to get my own, I'm going to get a loin of pork from Costco. Nice big one. And then I'm going to grind up a bunch of sausage because you can't do it with frozen meat. So I'm going to get a loin of pork. And I'm going to make my own sausage, because you can't trust sausage meat might have bread in it, right? Might have crumbs in it. So I'm going to do that. And then I will have sausage meat. I'll take the sausage meat. Are you big and small enough? Nope. I'm going to take the sausage meat, and I'm just going to add onions and peppers and maybe some zucchini. Well, probably not zucchini. Howard really would have he'd have a hissy fit. And then I'm going to stuff the chicken with just sausage meat. The whole thing's going to be meat. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, processed meats have gluten in them. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to give Bubba a turkey drumstick to get some of his teeth out. Help his teeth through. Arthur broke through some of his teeth. Now, Arthur was born in February, though. So at Thanksgiving, he was like 7 months old. All right? But Arthur had his first mashed potatoes, mashed turnips and gravy, and cut a tooth on a turkey drumstick. You just make sure you take the grizzle off, the cartilage off the end. So, but Bubba's gonna get a drumstick. So, I make my own sausage meat. There's seasoning that I'm allergic to in the commercial kind. The last sausages I bought, I didn't really like. So I didn't buy any more. And they were on sale, but they weren't cheap. You know what I mean? Are you gonna fit? I think you're gonna fit. There we go. So I'm just gonna make my own sausage meat. And I might make patties and cook them. You don't necessarily have to cook them all the way through. You brown them. And then I'm going to stack them in wide mouth pint jars and can them. Just like you would a cooked hamburger. You know what I mean? For the love of God, look at that, right in the middle. What the hell? I need a paring knife now, because I'm risking my life doing this. But, so yeah, I'm going to make my, next trip to Costco, I'm going to be making my own sausage meat. Because I'm getting a butchered pig, but they don't do sausage. The butcher that's doing this pig, and because it's not my butcher, it's the farmer's butcher, he only does hams, bacon, and pepperettes. So I'm just going to, and it comes, when I get it, it comes frozen. The end of my peeler is like this. It's great for scooping out zucchini, but not. Hey, Willows! How's it going, sweetheart? Maybe try a core for those parts? Nah. I'll just keep it going. I'm halfway through this bin anyway. I prefer my potatoes just a little bit bigger. This is the size I like. This is, please don't be all the way through. There we go. So not the greatest potatoes, but you get what you pay for. And I only paid $12.99, 25 cents a pound for these. So, yep, that's just what I'm canning these in quarts. I'm not adding butter and salt and pepper. I'm just going to dry pack them. I will, once I've rinsed them off, because they're going in from water to water, and once they're rinsed off, I'm going to let them air dry a bit until my, until I've done, I'll let them air dry while I'm washing my jars. And, well, Doris, I've never done this before. I've never done this before. So I'm going to they're going from rinse water to rinse water. You want to get all the starch off them because that goes black. And then I'm going to pack them into clean jars. And I will probably, I think, I have to double check, but I think it's 35 minutes for pints, 40 minutes for quarts. I think. So, but I will check that before I get going. I've never done this before, but I've been doing research, and you know what? Oh, Jesus. I almost cut my finger there. If this saves me from, because before I would do all of this, and then I would blanch them all, and then put them in cold water, and then can them. And you know what? Canned potatoes are handy, right? But when there's water in them, they process differently. They taste differently. It's not like you can make mashed potatoes with them or anything, right? I don't think so. Lemon water just stops them from going black. But if you rinse all the starch off them, they'll be fine, right? So every time they get cut or peeled, they go into water. Now they're going into another thing of water. Hey, Dima Beth! Honey, my hair's been like this. It's taken 2 years to get this long. Everybody seems to forget that when I cut my hair, it was in August 2021. So it's been... Scheisenheimer. There we go. It's been 2 years since I, cut my hair right down to the scalp almost. And that was in political protest. No, you look too big. So, anyway, folks, I'm almost done here. And I have to dry my jars, or wash my jars, and get these potatoes ready for, rinse them and get them ready for canning. I'm going to strain them and let them dry a little bit. And then I'll toss them. Just before I can them, I will toss them in a little bit of salt. Just because you don't want to put a teaspoon in on dry potatoes, because then one potato gets it all, right? You love it when my hair is super short. Well, it's a pain in the butt. It's a mess. It's easier for me to control when it's longer, except in bed at night. I woke up this morning looking, oh, I got to tell you this. I got Briar laughing yesterday. We got out of the truck to go into Maxi, and I was saying, he goes, I really don't have to do shopping. I just came to hang out. I said, I know, isn't it wonderful? I said, you're my baby boy. My little Sasquatch. Because he's taller than me. I call him my little Sasquatch because his hair is to his waist and he has a full beard and mustache. Right? And he just looked at me, and then we were walking, and we weren't talking for a second, and I looked at him and I went, brr, brr. And he looked at me and said, what's that? I said, just checking to see if you speak Chewbacca. and he looked at me funny, and then we kept walking, and he went, brr, brr. And I looked at him, I said, see? And we just started almost peed my pants, right? And it's, you know what? Laughter with your kids is so important. It's just so important. And I had a lovely visit with my son. And I'm glad he was with me. He lifted the 50-pound bag of potatoes for me into the cart and then into the truck. But also, when I got to Maxi, the butter was limited to 3 per person. So he was getting bottled water, and he got a big thing of bologna so he could slice it and fry it. Am I going to vlog the canning potatoes? Absolutely, Stacy. I absolutely am. See? Well, maybe I'll cut that one in half. I absolutely am, because I've never done this before. Now, I urge everybody, do your own research. All right? This is not an accepted method, but I've since realized the government's lied to us for a very long time. So what makes me trust their information any more than the information that I have been studying, right? So I'm just going to do my thing. You do not have to do this. This was $4.44 a pound, and they limited it to three per person. yeah, it was a great time with my son. It was. So, there's also the fact that when I can these potatoes, they will be ready to eat. My mom used to call my brothers the apostles when they went through the beard long hair stage. Well, I call them my little Sasquatch or, Chewbacca. But the one thing I'm really looking forward to, aside from, spending time with my kids and my grandson and having just a normal, happy family thing, is board games. We play that, what's that game? It's been so long since we played it. Where you, I think you need to be cut in half again. Where you, it's a card game. And you have possible answers, and then you have a statement. And what the heck is that called? Cards Against Humanity. What a riot. I bought them Cards Against Humanity. WD-40 there? Why would they ban WD-40? I don't understand that. We love that game so much that one year for Christmas I bought them all the extra decks and a carrying case to put it all in. Because that's one of our favorite. We play Citadels. What's the other one called? See, this is how long it's been since we played. Citadels, Cards Against Humanity. There's a bean card game. I'd like to see, the automotive industry and every other thing that uses tools find out about that. Yeah, I don't know. But what they should ban is PAM. Did you know that? Don't use PAM. There's propane and butane in that, right? You think it's compressed air and butter. It's not. Don't use PAM, okay? Pictionary. We've never done Pictionary. So, Citadels. Cards Against Humanity, and there's another one that starts with a C, and then there's the Bean game, Bean Wars, I think it's called. And we just have a blast. We just have a blast. Don't use it. Oh, freaky geek. Anyway, folks, we've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. And I'm going to now start washing my jars, and I'm going to rinse my potatoes, and then I'm going to rinse this dish pan, and I'm going to use it to toss the potatoes and salt and start canning. So I have to go. I have to charge up my other phone that I'm going to be filming with and get some work done. Let me know if you want me to come back later and talk some more and visit some more live while I peel and chop more potatoes. I haven't played Trivial Pursuit in years, and I don't think I would be able to play anything new because I don't watch the news anymore, and I don't watch the entertainment industry all that much. I do like on, we don't even hardly use Netflix anymore. So, all right, guys, take care. God bless. I have to get to work where I'm not sitting on my butt enjoying your company. Have a great day. And let me know in the comments if you want me to come back live later on. All right? Mwah! Take care. God bless. I'm not going to tire myself totally out. I have a plan in action, Joe. I have a plan in action. While these are in the canner, I'm going to come back and start doing more potatoes. Yeah, hi, Yellow Bird. I didn't see you. All right, guys. We'll talk to you in about, I don't know, maybe an hour. Maybe a half an hour. It depends on how fast I get through washing my jars and stuff. All right? Take care. God bless. We'll see you after.